In a small village in Kenya, there lived a young man named Mwangi. Mwangi was tall, strong, and known for his kind heart. He was married to a beautiful young woman named Amani. They loved each other very much and lived happily in their small, cozy hut. They spent their days farming, fetching water, and laughing together with the other villagers. One day, a wealthy woman named Momokozi came to the village. She was much older than Mwangi but very rich. She had many cows, goats, and a big house. Momokozi was looking for someone to help her manage her large farm and offered a big reward to whoever would assist her. Mwangi was tempted by the offer. He thought about the struggles he and Amani faced daily. He imagined living in a big house, eating delicious food, and wearing fine clothes. Momokozi noticed Mwangi's interest and approached him with a proposition. "Mwangi, if you come to work for me, I will give you more than you have ever dreamed of," she said with a warm smile. Mwangi hesitated. He loved Amani, but the thought of living a better life was hard to resist. Momokozi continued, "You can even live in my big house and never worry about money again." That night, Mwangi couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned, thinking about Momokozi's offer. He imagined Amani living in a beautiful house, wearing lovely dresses, and eating the best food. He convinced himself that this was the best decision for both of them. The next morning, Mwangi made up his mind. He went to Amani and told her about the offer. "Amani, I have decided to go and work for Momokozi," he said. "It will bring us a better life." Amani's eyes filled with tears. "But Mwangi, we are happy here. We don't need riches to be happy," she pleaded. Mwangi gently wiped her tears and said, "Trust me, Amani. This is for our future." Mwangi packed his few belongings and left their small hut. He walked to Momokozi's big house and started his new life. Momokozi welcomed him warmly and gave him a comfortable room. Mwangi worked hard on the farm, and Momokozi rewarded him generously. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Mwangi was living a life of comfort, but he missed Amani terribly. He often thought about her and wondered if he had made the right decision. Meanwhile, Amani struggled without Mwangi. She missed his laughter, his presence, and their simple, happy life. One evening, as Mwangi sat in his room, he heard a soft knock on the door. He opened it to find Momokozi standing there with a concerned look on her face. "Mwangi, you seem unhappy. Is everything all right?" she asked. Mwangi sighed and replied, "I miss my wife, Amani. I thought I could make her happy by coming here, but I realize now that I left behind the most important thing in my life." Momokozi nodded understandingly. "Sometimes, we don't realize the value of what we have until it's gone," she said softly. Mwangi felt a pang of regret. He knew he had to make things right. The next morning, Mwangi made up his mind. He approached Momokozi and said, "Momokozi, I need to return to my village. I miss my wife, Amani, and I can't live without her. I am grateful for everything you have done for me, but my heart belongs with her." Momokozi nodded. "I understand, Mwangi. Go to Amani and make things right. Follow your heart." Mwangi packed his belongings and began the long walk back to his village. As he walked, he thought about Amani and all the moments they had shared. He realized that no amount of wealth could replace the love and happiness he had with her. When Mwangi finally reached his village, he rushed to their small hut. He found Amani sitting outside, looking sad and lonely. Her face lit up with surprise and joy when she saw Mwangi approaching. "Mwangi," she exclaimed, running towards him. "Amani, I am so sorry," Mwangi said, holding her tightly. "I thought I could give us a better life, but I was wrong. The best life is the one we have together. Please forgive me." Amani's eyes filled with tears of happiness. "I forgive you, Mwangi. I missed you so much." Mwangi and Amani embraced, their hearts filled with love and relief. They knew that as long as they had each other, they could face any challenge. From that day on, Mwangi and Amoni worked together to rebuild their life. They cherished their simple, happy moments and never took their love for granted. The villagers welcomed Mwangi back warmly, glad to see the couple reunited. One evening, as the sun set over the village, Mwangi and Amoni sat outside their hut, watching the sky turn shades of orange and pink. They held hands and smiled, knowing that they had everything they needed right there with each other. As the days passed, Mwangi and Amoni worked hard on their farm, planting crops and tending to their animals. They found joy in the simple tasks and took pride in their efforts. The village thrived with their contributions, and the villagers often came by to offer help and share stories. One day, an unexpected visitor arrived at the village. It was Mama Kosi. She came with a group of villagers who had heard about the couple's hard work and wanted to learn from them. Mama Kosi had brought gifts of seeds, tools, and livestock to support the village. Mwangi, Amoni, I have heard of your dedication and love for each other and the community, Mama Kosi said. I want to help you grow and make this village even better. Mwangi and Amoni were surprised but grateful. They welcomed Mama Kosi and the other villagers warmly. With the new resources, the village began to flourish even more. They planted new crops, built better homes, and created a market where they could trade their goods. Mwangi and Amoni became leaders in the village, teaching others the value of hard work and cooperation. They organized festivals, where everyone would come together to celebrate their achievements and share their happiness. One night, as Mwangi and Amoni sat by the fire, they reflected on their journey. We have come so far, Mwangi said, looking at Amoni with love. I never imagined we would be able to help so many people. Amoni smiled and squeezed his hand. We did it together, Mwangi. Our love and the support of our village have made us strong. Mama Kosi, who was sitting nearby, overheard their conversation. She approached them and said, You two have shown everyone what true love and hard work can achieve. I am proud of you both. Mwangi and Amoni thanked her, knowing that their journey had been filled with lessons and blessings. They realized that wealth was not measured by money or possessions but by the love and support of family and community. As the years went by, Mwangi and Amoni continued to lead their village with kindness and wisdom. They had children who grew up learning the same values of love, hard work, and community. The village became known far and wide for its prosperity and happiness. Mwangi and Amoni knew that their decision to stay together and support each other had been the best choice they could have made. They lived out their days surrounded by the love of their family and the warmth of their village, grateful for the simple, beautiful life they had built together. One day, many years later, as the sun set over the thriving village, Mwangi and Amoni sat on the porch of their now much larger home, watching their grandchildren play in the yard. The village had grown and prospered, all thanks to their leadership and the unity of the community. Mama Kosi, now elderly, visited them often and became like family. She enjoyed sharing stories with the grandchildren, teaching them lessons about life and kindness. As the evening turned into night, the villagers gathered in the square for a grand celebration. It was a special day, marking the anniversary of Mwangi and Amoni's return to the village. Lanterns lit up the square, music filled the air, and laughter echoed through the night. During the celebration, Mwangi stood up to speak. The crowd quieted down, eager to hear his words. Years ago, I made a choice that changed my life, Mwangi began. I left my beloved wife for what I thought was a better life. But I soon realized that true wealth is found in love, family, and community. Amoni and I have been blessed to live among such wonderful people. Our village is a testament to what we can achieve when we work together and support one another. The villagers cheered and clapped, showing their appreciation and love for Mwangi and Amoni. Mama Kosi then stood up, with a warm smile on her face. Mwangi and Amoni, you have taught us all the true meaning of happiness," she said. "Your love and dedication have made this village what it is today. Thank you for everything you have done." With tears of joy in their eyes, Mwangi and Amoni embraced Momokozi. They looked around at the smiling faces of their friends, family, and neighbors, feeling an overwhelming sense of gratitude. As the night went on, the village celebrated with dancing, singing, and sharing delicious food. Mwangi and Amoni danced together under the stars, their hearts full of love and contentment. Years later, when Mwangi and Amoni were no longer there, their story continued to be told to new generations. The village remained prosperous, always remembering the lessons of love, unity, and hard work that Mwangi and Amoni had taught them, and so, the legacy of Mwangi and Amoni lived on, reminding everyone that true happiness comes not from riches, but from the love and support of those we hold dear.